Hello friends, welcome to the Angular form tutorial. In this tutorial, we will see a template driven form. We will create a one template driven form on our page and we'll see on the browser. So in the previous tutorial, we have seen like template driven form are very simple form, and it is good if we create simple form to your application. Like if you have complex form, then we should not go with the template driven form. And in the template driven form, we do most of the work on the template side. Like it's a name say like template driven form, so most of the work is done on the template side, and some work is done on the component side. Like if we are going to call or to database or something or API, then we call to the component through the template HTML template side. So template driven form are very easy to use, but they are not as scalable as the reactive forms. So that's why we should not use template driven form for the complex template. It's good for simple scenario but not for the complex scenario, and very less code is done in the component side. Like as I told, like most of the code in the template side, that's why very less code in the component side. Like for calling the database or API, we use the component side code, and unit testing is very difficult in the template driven form. So like before working on the template driven form, what we need to take care, like first we have to add the form module in the app module.ts file, because through this only we can create the template driven form, and then need to add form module in the import array. Like as I explained in the my Angular tutorial series, like all the module come under the import array. So we have to add this form module into the import array. I will show you all these things when we'll start working on this using Visual Studio Code. And so after adding this form module in the import array, we can create our task, or we can create our form or page. Like we can create our login page, registration page, anything on the component.html page. And for making a form on HTML page, there are some key points which need to be take care. Like when we are working with the form creation, there are some common things that we need to be take care, and we have to make that form using those keywords. Like first is the ng form. So basically it's a directive which is exported from the form module. Like form module we have added as a directive and in import array. So this is exported from the form module, and which get automatically added to the all forms tags. Like when we create our form, there is a one tag we have to add, so it is automatically added tag in your Angular template. Once we import the module, the ng form directive created top level form group. Like what it do, under this ng form we take the elements or control, we can say it make the group of all the controls, and this form group instance and bind it to the form tag to enable your work with the form. So that is basically the use of the ng form. And the next is the ng model. Like Angular ng model is a directive that create a form control instance from the domain model and bind it to the form control element. Like if any control is having ng model, it means like it is binding that control with the form. Like in a grouping it is doing with the ng form. The ng model directive bind the value of HTML control like input, text area, select, and radio button. All this it is making bind with the HTML page to our application data. And to create a ng form, following syntax is required, like form ng form, and like this is a local variable we are taking, like whole data we are taking under this ng form, and this is the keyword in ng form which is coming from the form module. This form module it is coming. So we are assigning this means we are taking this ng form as a local variable, and this is coming from the form module, and we are attaching one ng submit event, and we are calling this like when we click on this submit, it is calling to the registration function, and this is assigned in the, and the definition of this registration is given in the component side. So basically here we are taking all data from all the control into this rg form local variable, and then passing this RG form data into this registration function, and we are doing other operation like saving in data, updating data, means then further operation we are doing into the component side. So basically here we are using ng submit. It means it will send HTTP request instead of submitting the form. So there are some form, some property which ng form contains, like value. It means this contain all the value of element or field, like whatever the input we have given to the control, it contain those value. Like we can check it's a valid or not, and we can check like touch is in the sense like for like suppose an example, we have a input control and we have click on input control and we come out. Like for the kind of checking we use the touch property. So that is basic thing that we use in the template driven form. So now let's start to creating a one template driven form in our application. So as I explained before, working on this, what we have to do, we have to import the form module in our app module.ts. So we'll add it. But in my case, see, it's already added to this. Like when I created this application, that time only we have added. In the first tutorial of Angular series, we already created a project called Angular 8 project. So if you have not created, first go through that tutorial series and see how we create this project and everything. When we create that project, this structure comes, this full structure comes when we create the project. And after this you go to the app.module.ts, and in this import this form module from the Angular form library. And after importing this form module, add this form module into the import array. As I explained, like next step we have to import this form module into the import array. So after adding this, what we have to do, we have to create a form into the HTML form. So I'm going to create our HTML form under this app.component.html. So before that, what I will do, we will use some Bootstrap also. So before that, I will attach Bootstrap to the HTML page. So basically that is the link which I already open in our application. Like you go to the get Bootstrap website, and here you just copy this CSS from here and attach to the index.html page. But in my case, I have already added this one. Like I have added just before the head, add this style CSS. So if we will use CSS things, so it will reflect to our form. And I have already compiled it, and we'll see at point of this time what it is showing on the browser. So currently it is showing like welcome to the .NET Office app. So now let's create the form on our page. So what we will do, we will create this form in the Bootstrap using the Bootstrap CSS. So it will look good on our browser. So what I will do, first I will create a div, and under this div I will take a one CSS class called container. Like if you have already worked on the Bootstrap, you have idea how we use the container and what is the style of this thing. If you have didn't use, so please see here, like this container class basically will contain all the control in a same fashion. It will create all the controls. And the next div we will take, and we will take a class like row, and under this we will take another div, and we will take class like form bz, and under this we will take our form. So form, and we will take our local variable. Like we are going to have like student information. We what we'll do, we will make a one form that will contain student information. So what I will do, I will take one local variable called student info, and this will contain ng form, and here so that is about the form. So now under this form what we will do, we will create our control. So let's create the control. So basically this we have to use it here, and now like this, and we have to close this form. Now all the control will come under this form. So let's create all these forms here, and before that what I will do, I will take a one header here, and this header will be h2, and under this header what I will write, like student information page, or we can say like form. And now we will take the controls. So what I will do, I will take three type of controls here. So first I will take a input control. So I will create a one div, and in this div I will take a one class, and the type of this like form group, and inside this div I will take the control, and the control, as I explained, like I will take a one input, and the type of this is text. So it will contain the text, and the class will be the form control. And here I will take one placeholder as well, and I will take like enter for, or I will take enter your name. And we with all the control there should be one name property that is mandatory, we have to give. So we will take a name property called name, and one ng module, ng model we have to take. Like as I explained, what we have to do, what are the common things, this ng module, the all the control which contain the ng module, what it will do, it will make the one group and it will add to the form. So ng mod is necessary, and one name property is also necessary to all the inputs. So that is done with the one control. Now what I will do, we will take another control. So I will copy this one, and this text I will take as a number, and here I will write enter your age, and here I will take like age and ng model. So the first will take the name, another will take the age, and next control I will take as the, I will take it like I will take like text area. So we will enter the address. So what I will do, this one instead of this I will do text area. So that is basically with the text area, and here I will write address, enter your address. So that is done with the form. Now what I will do, now I will create a one button, like we have to click on the button. So I will create a one button here. So I will take one br, and here I will take a one button. So I will take first div, and under this this div we will create our button. So like button, and I will give button like submit info, and inside this button I will take this type will be submit, and the class which I will take like class I will give some property like button, like these are the classes, css classes basically. So it will make this button as a in a bootstrap way. So button, then button primary, 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 and I will give id to this one, and I will give like id student info. So that is done with the form. Now let's compile it and see on the browser. So save it. So it's compiled successfully. Now see on the browser. So we can see on the browser like our form is shown, like a student information form. It is showing like enter your name, enter your age, and this is a number. It will not take any text, it will take number only. And this is our text area, like we can increase the text. So that is the way to create a form. So one more time I will explain like how we created this form. Like first we added in the index.html, we added bootstrap, that CDN. So why we added in index.html, like if we add bootstrap in index, then it will be available globally, for all the HTML it will be available. So we added it here. Now then we added this form module in the app.module.ts file. Then in HTML page we use the bootstrap classes, like we added a div. In this we used the container, then row, then form, then we added one form. And this we have taken one local variable called student info, and we are taking this one as a ng form. And then we added a one normal element like student information form. Then we added the three controls, like first is the form group, then inside this we taken a one text control, and another control we have taken as a number control, and the third control we have taken as a text area control. And then we have taken a one form, one button, and inside this we have closed this form. Then these are the other three div, these are closing. So after this, now what we want, when we click on this submit button, this information should go somewhere, like on the browser, like in the DB or through API it should go. Or so currently we are not working with the database. So what I will do, I will save this information in the console log. So what I will do now, first we have to take a one create a one function. When we'll click on this function, it should go information. So what I will do in this form, like here we will attach one submit event, like ng submit equal to, now we have to give the function name, like which function you are calling on the component ts file. So I will take the function name like submit student info, and I will pass to this function this student information, because this local variable will contain all the information. So I will pass this information here. So that is done from this page. Now what I will do, I will create this student info on the component page. So in this component page, what I will do, I will create that function. And this function, what it will take, it will take, I will take one variable, because we are passing to this one, and the type of this variable will be form module. So we have to import this form module, and we have to take it, because we know this information which will come from this HTML page will be the form module type. And inside this I will pass this to console dot log, and I will pass this full form value. So what we have done, we have uh, added a one submit event here, and we are calling this submit student info function, and we have created this submit info function here, and this is taking form module variable here, and we are assigning this form module variable to this console log. So now let's save it and see on the browser. So we have done it. Just okay, let's save it and see on the browser. So it's loading, and we can see it is showing the form. Now what I will do, I will give the name like Govind, and age I will give 26, and here I will give the address like address. I will write new address. Now I will click on the submit info. So when I'll submit info, before that I will do inspect element, click on F12, and in this F12 go to the console application, and here we can see like we are not looking any ng form here. See, when I will click on this submit info, it will create a one ng form. Like I click, and we can see it added a one tab called ng form. When you will expand this one and go to this form, because we have added our things into the form, go to the form, and we can see it is taking all three value like Govind and the age and the new address. When you will expand this also, you can see here all the information, and control wise also you can see the information like here on the submit event, like it will contain all the controls, and based on this control, yeah, this is the control, like we have all three controls, and under this control you can see like we have three control address. So in under address you can see the new address, and in under age you can see the age. Actually it like first you are looking like first we have taken the name, then age, then address, but why it is showing like it do the in order, it create the control in the order, that's why it's showing in this way. So that is the way we can create our template form in our Visual Studio Code, and we can manage the things like now currently we are managing it into the console log, but we can do it to insert data into the database, or we can we can send this information through API. So basically this is the way we create our template form, and we do the submit here. Now in the coming videos we will see how to make the required field and how we do the validations in the coming videos. If you have any question regarding this tutorial, please comment. Thank you.